The number one way to improve the success in your life, the love in your life, and to increase the abundance in your life is to master the art of sweaty conversations. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you an example. Years ago, I was in college. I was in college for 7 years. And in my 7th year of college and university, I had 2 classes left in nursing school. So I was starting to struggle with anxiety and insomnia. But when I don't mean starting like as in, it was like really becoming a struggle. I was struggling with it for a while, but like my mental toughness just helped me push through it. And then at a certain point, I just started to break down. I started to have panic attacks. I started to just not be able to sleep at night. I got into 2 car accidents because I was so sleepy behind the wheel, because I would drive to Long Island, and then from Long Island I would drive back to Brooklyn to eat, and then I would go back to the city to train jiu-jitsu. And that was starting to tear me up. My physical health was breaking down, my mental health was deteriorated, and I thought that life would continuously be this way. Thing was, I didn't want to be a nurse. I just wanted to do jiu-jitsu. And my biggest fears were that I was basically going to be like excommunicated from my family. I thought that my parents wouldn't love me anymore if I didn't get my degree, because my whole like adult life at that point, everybody always talked about Rome's going to be a doctor, or Rome's going to be a nurse, or whatever. Like I'm going to be some sort of medical professional that they would be proud of. And I thought that because of that, I wasn't able to live life on my terms. Like I had to make other people happy. And I was terrified. The reason I had that anxiety was because I was doing the things that, like, deep down inside, I knew I shouldn't be doing. Like I knew I shouldn't be in college. I knew I should have been following like a different agenda in my life, like an agenda that I chose for myself. So back to the conversation of sweaty conversations. One day, I wasn't able to register for classes. This was like August. I wasn't able to register for in July. I wasn't able to register for classes for September because they told me that class was closed. It was full. I was paying $33,000 a year for college, and that class was full. And they said that because it was full, it would delay my graduation by a year and a half. So that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And what I did was I made a decision. That's it. I'm not going back to college. So what did that decision prompt me to do? Well, I had to have a conversation with my parents, because that was my biggest limiting factor. I was terrified that my parents were basically going to like disown me, and they wouldn't want to talk to me, and I would like break their hearts by leaving university. And keep in mind, this is 2 classes before getting my degree. 2 classes, and I was just like, I'm done. Now, the first thing I did was I made out a map. I made out a plan of like what I actually want to do if I'm not going to be going to college. So I made that plan. I sat them down the next day, and we had a very uncomfortable conversation. At first it was uncomfortable, but then like they seen how passionate I was about that thing, and like they couldn't really say anything, because it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they want for me. It matters what I want for me. And what I wanted for me was a feeling of inner peace, a feeling of creating value for people, a feeling of chasing my own dreams. And if I wasn't able to do that, I wouldn't want to live life. I used to tell people that because people used to be like, oh, you should go back to college. You should go back to college. You should have like a plan B. Like, what if this jiu-jitsu thing doesn't work out? I told them I would rather take a gun and blow my own brains out than go back to college and become a nurse. And I meant it. I really meant it. And that would completely end all conversations. So that was another uncomfortable conversation that I was willing to have with people to get them to shut up and stop telling me what to do. So now, what part of your life are you not having those uncomfortable conversations in? Is it in business? Is it in love? Is it in all of your relationships? Is it something that you truly, deeply desire, but you're not telling people? The cause for all of your anxiety is the fact that you're not having these 10-minute or 30-minute or 1 hour long sweaty conversations. Because if you start having them and you become a master at them, it'll change your entire existence. And now, these sweaty conversations are not about manipulation. They're about vulnerability. They're about putting all your cards on the table and telling people how you truly feel. And if they don't like it, well, they don't need to be in your life. So, put all your cards out on the table. Be more vulnerable and start to create those sweaty conversations in your life that will change not only you, but they will inspire others. They will inspire others to be better, and they will create more abundance, success, and love in your life. I love you guys. Let me know, is there a sweaty conversation that you recently had that shifted everything for you? I love you. Ciao.